Welcome, my devilish ghouls and goblins, my dastardly, monstrous little people. Welcome to my den of despair, on this the night where many dastardly and devilish things are unleashed upon the world. I'm your nasty host, Tim Allen Poe Lovecraft, and I have my own dark and devilish agenda to unleash upon the world. I'll be unveiling my ideas for twisted, horrifying monsters that I wish to be portrayed on the silver screen. We've come into a time when people are not excited to see horrifying monsters do dastardly things upon the silver screen. They're more interested in, having fun with their family or watching My Little Pony. If I'm gonna be honest, I think watching My Little Pony is more disgusting than a monster eating something. I guess it's hard to understand the type of sick things that run through my brain. Even I can become afraid of the twisted things that come out of the dark pits of my mind. I really wish someone would attempt to spend one day in my brain. I guess a lot of people these days wouldn't want to watch a scary movie. I bet they'd rather go out on a date when you can kiss, or they'd rather get $1,000. But I guess I'm a little different. My passion is monsters. I love monsters so much I wish I could be friends with one. An ogre or a dragon? I bet you guys would think that's pretty scary, huh? But for me, I wish I could be friends with a dragon and I could fly on his back. I could fly the dragon anywhere I want, all over the world. Far away from here, away from my mean landlord. He has a problem with the amount of fog that emits out of my nighttime fog machine. It puffs out of the hallways and makes the fire alarm go off for the entire building, and everyone has to go outside for 3 hours. He's just one of the enemies that have made themselves my enemies over the years. That's why he's gonna be the first on the list of who I unleash my monsters upon. And so some of you might be wondering, why am I deciding that now is the time to release my terrible beasties onto this video? And that's because I've been going to horror movies for a very long time now. And what I've noticed in all my time as an amateur expert on horror and everything horror and scary, the monsters that they show in these movies are not scary at all. If these so-called directors and people who make these monsters for the movies spent even 1 second inside my head, they would be so scared that they would want to be out. They would want to get out of my head. Do you think if I saw a Frankenstein in real life I'd be scared? I'd go up to him and say, "Oh, you're supposed to scare me? I wish you would spend 1 minute inside my brain." Draculas? What's a Dracula? It's just a guy with sharp teeth? Check this out. I file them down every morning. That's because my dentist says I have weak teeth. When they have sharper edges, that allows me to chew my food without the danger of my teeth shattering. And so because I have weak teeth, that's why I grind them down with a knife. So enough lollygagging. Will we? Won't we? I'm going to begin the ritual of creation of my monsters. And now the ritual of my nightmarish monster creations shall commence. So as a way to kind of ease us into my twisted monster creations, I'll start with a monster that's a little familiar. One thing I've enjoyed about horror movies these days, there's a lot of reimaginations of old monsters. Because monsters in old movies you look at, you say, not real, they're fake. When you redesign them and make them look more scary and actually more realistic, that adds to the monster and it adds to making them more scary. So similarly to these reimagined characters, I've reimagined the classic horror skeleton character. And this new monster that I've created is named I-Skeleton. And he has all the powers of a skeleton, he has all the strength and the mobility of a skeleton. He has the appearance of a regular man, and in a way that's even more twisted. Just to know that there's a skeleton out here that looks like a regular man, and he has all the abilities of a skeleton. It's chilling and it's absolutely devilish. So one idea that you can have when creating monsters is take something normal and turn it into something nightmarish and incredibly dastardly. And that's why my next diabolical creation is called the Postman. And what the postman does is he'll bring you a letter. You don't know when, and you don't know what time, but it happens every day between 5 and 6. He'll bring this letter, and he'll drop it in your mailbox or through the slot in your door. These letters have terrifying messages written on them. One, for example, might say that you have to give someone money to live in your own home. Or letters telling you to stop releasing millions of spiders in your neighborhood every full moon. Oh, and I forgot to say, whatever letter that comes, you have to do what it says, or else you get in very big trouble. Absolutely atrocious. But I guess that's what every good monster is. Or at least what every good monster is deep down. Some monsters appear to be nice and sweet, but then after it's not too late, or when it's too late, you realize they are something much more sinister. This next monster I created is named Tinkleton the Rabbit. And you think, Tinkleton the Rabbit, oh, he's so cute. He likes to give little kisses. And he is, and he does. He also has a terrible secret. And every time he's coming to give you a hug and a little kiss, he turns around, and he's got a gun, and he's shooting you. Oh, cute little bunny. Oh. Blah, 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 blah. Chilling. A similar idea in the monster-making realm is to take a beloved character. Through processing it through your devious, twisted mind, you gnarl and turn it into something absolutely naughty. One such character is Santa Claus. Oh, please don't tell me he's gonna take Santa Claus and turn him into something evil. Guess what? Imagine Santa Claus has relatives that are actually detestable and devilish. One such relative is Fred Claus, a twisted version of Santa Claus who doesn't have any money and he hates Christmas. Santa Claus, the man who's trying to bring joy to children across the world. Oh, just one problem. A monster named Fred Claus is coming to destroy you. Ugh, I dare not even say this monster. But here's a different one. A monster that not only scares and terrifies, but kills its victims. And the monster makes sure, by the time he leaves the scene, that the victims are dead. And the twist? The victims don't want to be dead. Here's a monster that lives in the basement, and he seeks revenge on the people above. They look down on the monster in the basement, always never inviting him to parties and never talking to him when they see him in the hallway. Just because someone lives above someone else doesn't mean that makes them their king. You can't make me turn down my stereo when I'm playing bat noises. That's not in the Constitution, I don't think. I don't think that's in the Constitution. I really don't. We can check if it's in the Constitution, but I really don't think it's in there, or at least I hope it isn't. My final obscene monster for the silver screen is one where in the sequel there's a girl version of him that he's in love with. Absolutely devilish. And that was just a tiny little glimpse into the vicious subconscious of my mind. And trust me, you wouldn't want to spend 1 minute in there. That actually gives me an idea for another monster. This monster has such a twisted mind that anybody who spent a minute inside that monster's brain would be absolutely very scared and wanting to get out. I'll leave you with this one thought, my devilish do-bad things people. Imagine a world where all things were monsters, even a book or a cup. That is my idea for my upcoming movie that I am self-producing, self-directing, making it. It's called Monster World, and it's gonna have every single creation that I spoke of here tonight. And if you are a fan of dry pants, I would suggest not coming. The monster naming ceremony is finished. I release my monster ideas into the world, and they shall do my bidding. I only hope that everyone has the sense to not mess with these monsters. Because if you spend even 1 minute inside my